Good day, YouTube. It is the 30th of March, 2024. Welcome back to Glenn's Speed Shop. If you're regular, or if you just found us, thanks for stopping by and watching the video. Today's going to be a little bit about the challenges I've had with baking with sourdough and what I've done to correct that. So I have my own little kitchen. It's actually a pretty good sized kitchen in my shop, so as to not bother the kitchen at our house. My wife is, she keeps things kind of the way she wants it, and she doesn't want me in it. So when I bought the shop, first thing we did was set aside this space for kind of a gathering room and for a kitchen. But it's a big old building. It's, at the peak, she's around, 24 feet high and 50 by 50. And it's about 600 square feet in this space, largely uninsulated. So the main barn is beyond this door. There's no insulation in the ceilings whatsoever. That's the main barn with all the vehicles, etc. Yeah. So in the wintertime, if you've ever baked bread, especially if you've done sourdough, keeping a starter active and raising your bread dough in an unheated or largely unheated space is a challenge. It's sometimes more than a challenge, sometimes not even possible. Or it takes a really, really long time. This is my 200-year-old starter. I've got some videos on my channel where I show how I purchased this on eBay, and then it was in dry form, and we got it all active and everything. It works really good. Very, very happy with it. When you want to bake with this, it needs to be active, so you got to have it out at room temperature and feed it, right? So I say in the fridge, it's there for a week. You feed it once a week. If it's at room temperature, you need to feed it every day, maybe every other day. In the fridge every week, or every week or two. So I feed on Sundays because I typically keep it in the fridge. But if I want to bake with it, I need it at room temperature. Well, what if it's wintertime and room temperature's like same temperature as in the fridge? Because I don't heat this when I'm not here. It's very expensive to heat an uninsulated building of this size, and I just don't do it. So I made something I made many years ago when I used to do sourdough. I took this old Coleman, it's an oven, it's a camp oven. You'd set it on a camp stove. It's just something that I had, it was handy. And I put a line break thermostat. This is a thermostat you would use like for a baseboard heater or an in-wall heater. And I could set the thing up to 70 some degrees. It would turn a 40-watt light bulb on. You can see by the mess in the bottom. And keep my starter at whatever temperature I set the thermostat at. Okay. So, and it worked pretty good. I was able to use my starter and keep it active and all that good jazz. I have this propane oven stovetop that has a light in it. Oh, I turned it off. It was on. And I was able to keep my starter in there once in a while if it wasn't too cold out, and maybe raise bread in there, but that was iffy at best. So it was time that I make a proofing box, not only for keeping my starter in, but for raising bread in. Now, I did a first video in this series to show you what I was working with and all the parts and pieces of how I was going to build it. And then for some reason, I don't have it anymore. I must have deleted it. But I have already built the proofing box now. And then pretty soon I will show you the clip of the second, third, fourth, fifth clip in the series, which you'll see. And this will be the intro. So It's an after the fact intro. So this interesting looking box is a carpenter's toolbox that we purchased at a yard sale this last summer, and what my wife had in mind for it when she bought it, maybe she didn't have so much in mind for it, and so I commandeered it for my purposes. Why is it so big? Well, I need something because I don't make just one loaf, I make 2 or 3. I mean, as long as you're going to make the mess and do all that stuff anyway, you might as well make one to eat and make one to share, or make 2 to share, something like that. So I need something big enough because this isn't just going to raise my starter or make it active, it's going to raise my bread dough. Okay, so this had a couple trays in it, pulled them out. Okay, didn't ruin it, but I did pull them out. I mean, it's kind of a nice antique. It killed me to drill a few holes in it, but I needed it, and it was a good size, and it was kind of interesting. So here we go. So this is the deal here. INK bird, ink bird. Okay, in my original, I had the paperwork. Oh, I remember. I think it's inside. Hang on. Here's the paperwork. Okay, and I got this on Amazon. It was something like 25 bucks. Okay, so this is an electronic thermostat for heating only. Okay, it has a power cord here. It's plugged into that plug strip right there. It has a double outlet. Okay, there's 2 outlets that are attached here. I'll show you that in a second. And then there is a temperature probe, which is inside the box, and it runs to about right here. Okay, so it is sensing the temperature inside of my proofing box. Okay, so it has, on the bottom is a set point, which I have set at 81 degrees. Okay, right now it's at 78.7 or 78.9 degrees because I just opened the box to get the paperwork out. Okay, I also put this other thermometer in, and right now it's reading about 73 degrees. Of course, the probe is right here for this unit. The probe for this unit is over here. Now, I'll open this up, we'll prop it open, and I'll show you how it's built. Okay, remember that double outlet I just mentioned that comes off of the electronic thermostat? So I have a plug strip plugged into one of them, and I mounted it on this side, and I've put 3 light bulbs in it. Okay, 1, 2, 3 light bulbs. These are 40-watt oven or appliance light bulbs. Okay, they are, again, on this plug strip, because like in the summertime I won't need all of this. I can just unplug them. I bought these little adapters on Amazon. They were cheap, and if I want to, I can just turn them off. Okay, turn them back on, or I can run 1 bulb, 2 bulb, 3 bulb, you know, like 1 on this side and 1 on this side, depending on the needs. So if it's, you know, 60 degrees outside, I probably live with just 1 bulb. If it's, you know, freezing outside, I'm gonna need them all. Okay, you can see I'm making dinner rolls. They're not made into rolls yet, but they are, you know, it's my first rise. So these only been in there about an hour or so, and they're rising really good. It's probably 50 degrees outside right now. Again, it's end of March. Tomorrow is Easter. So I did drill a hole in my box. You can see this is 1.5 inches thick. That's 2 pieces of 3/4 inch lumber. So from my thumb to my end of my finger. So I had to drill holes in it. Kind of sad because of the coolness of the box, but you know what, is what it is. We weren't using it for what we thought we needed it for. I'm using it for what I needed it for, and just using a paint stick to hold it up. So the next clips are all going to be keeping my starter, raising my starter in this thing, getting it active, and then raising some bread and cooking it and seeing how it works. So I'm still in experimental mode with this thing. I'm very happy with it, but I need to, record sometimes, because wouldn't it be nice to know exactly how long it would take to raise this particular recipe, and then I could plan better when I'd be baking. So in a little bit, I'm going to pull these out, and we'll kind of push it down again. We'll turn them into, we'll do one more stretch and fold, and then we'll turn them into rolls, and we'll put them back here and let them raise up until I'm ready to bake them. So we'll do that here in a little bit. So I'll engage the rest of the clips for the finish this video that I got rid of my first installment, my first video. I lost it, and yeah, we'll go to the end. Here we go. All right, guys, it is the next day. I have put this all together. You want to see it? Here we go. I even have a starter in here. Okay, that fits there. So I'm just going to go over this real quick. My intention was to show you how to build one, but I don't know that anybody wants to build one this large, but you can build one scalable. I've shown you the equipment, and kind of go from there. So it is together, it is functioning. I'm kind of doing a test on it right now, but I'm going to show you what we've done, and then I'll show you the results of the test. So right off the bat, I've thrown one of my starters in here. I haven't fed this in, well, I feed on Sundays, and today is Tuesday. So I suspect this will grow some as it warms up. I just took it out of the fridge. So in a couple hours or something, that should be grown. Now you see only one light is on. It's kind of by design. So in the wintertime, I need more heat potential, more power. In the spring and summer, not so much, if at all. So I put a plug strip on this side on a switch. So, I gotta put there. So I can turn on the extra heat. That's 120 watts. So 40 watts bulbs, right? 40 watts of incandescent. 40 watts of incandescent light is 40 watts of heat, because they're so inefficient, right? Efficiency is all about, if you're producing heat when you're supposed to be producing light, that's inefficient, okay? And incandescence is like, I don't know, 100% inefficient. So you can see I bored a big old hole through my box up here, right? Dang, it is what it is, though. I'm repurposing the box. It's 1.5 inches thick, so it's just 2 3/4 inch boards up here. That's why this thing is so darn heavy. And I ran the cord through this big hole, which I had to square out, which has the 2 outlets on it. I think in the instructions for this machine, those are independent. You can make this thing do a couple different things, okay? I don't need them to do a couple different things, and I've only gone through the basics of programming, which I'll tell you about in a second. Okay, so I've plugged in, obviously, one light, which I could unplug. I've got, obviously, 3 of them on the right side over here, which I can turn them all off, or I can just unplug them, for different times of the year when my shop is at different temperatures, okay? So I plugged the plug strip into the other outlet. I just secured things up. These are, we call them tie wrap mounts or zip tie mounts. You can get them on Amazon, or you can get them at electrical section of your big box stores probably as well. So they've got a wood screw going through to secure the wiring. Very good and out of the way. I put everything as back to the rear of this as possible without getting too close to the wood. It's not going to get hot enough to cause fire or anything. Plus, if this thing gets too warm in here, it's going to shut them off. This is the temperature probe. Thermocouple is its proper term, but it's the temperature probe from the device, which is mounted on the lid. I may need to take it farther away. I've coiled up everything here. I probably will later today move this over maybe 6 inches and put it more in the middle, so it's not that close to this heat, okay? Or I may need to shut this bulb off, which I would do just by unplugging it. So anyway, that's that. This here's another thermometer that I had, and it will allow me to compare and calibrate the digital device versus an analog thermometer. It's just something I had, so I added it to. I drilled another hole in my box. Okay, let me show you my installation of the device on top. Yeah. So here's an overview. There's just one screw up here at the top where there was a little bracket provided on this contraption. Obviously I drilled a big hole, squared it up so I could get that plug through it. I may come back and fill this hole, or I may leave it open as a vent. We'll see how this thing develops. A couple more of those tie wrap mounts that I used on the inside to just manage this cord. And then this is the cord that plugs this unit in. And again, this is just a temperature gauge I took out of probably a freezer or something during some construction project demolition I was on, and I took it out and took it home. It's been just kind of hanging around here in the shop for years and years. So let's run through the setup. I can take you in super close. You might get some, yeah, you're gonna get some effect from the video framing, but framing. Anyway, you get it. You've seen it before. So you can see right now I have it set for 72 degrees. Okay, that's my set temperature. Okay, this is where it's at right now. It's at 69.5, 69.6. Just close the lid. I've still got it cracked open just a little bit. So this temperature should continue to rise as the 4 bulbs are on. If this thing rises really fast, which it kind of is, 70, it's going up about 2/10 of almost a degree per second here. We're going to get to 72 degrees and this thing will shut off. You can also then set the set point of how much it will cool off before it turns back on again. And I believe I've set this for 2 degrees. So it will bounce between 70 and 72. So it'll go off at 72 degrees, and we'll see that here in just a second. Watch this light right there. It should go off here right about now. See it? Okay, so it is set at 72. We just reached 72. Still climbing a little bit because the bulbs are still hot, and it will not come on again until it hits 70. So this is telling me this thing's going to work pretty good, pretty quick, and I don't need all the bulbs that I have working for this temperature. And that is my design. I can just take a couple bulbs out of the system, maybe take this one out altogether and only leave 1 or 2 on the other side. So that is 72. So this is my other temperature gauge. This should be fairly accurate. Right now I have this glued down, and I have a piece of rubber on the thermocouple on the inside to hold it in place so it doesn't fall out. I'll remove that piece on the inside pretty soon. It will make this more accurate. But as soon as that dries, so sometime later today, I'll take that out and we'll double check the accuracy of this versus this, and this accuracy is adjustable. So let me grab my pamphlet so I don't forget, and we'll go over the settings very briefly, because this will do temperature and time. I don't want this to ever shut off, so I'm not dealing with time, but it has the ability to turn heat on and off during specified times. Okay, so let me grab that pamphlet wherever I put it. It's probably in the box. Alright, I got the pamphlet right here. Not sure, yeah, you probably won't be able to see it, but I could show it to you once in a while. So in order to set things, change parameters, push this button down for 3 seconds or more. Okay, and we're on TS1. TS1 right here is the temperature set value, and this will go centigrade or Fahrenheit. I have changed it to Fahrenheit, and I have set it for 72 degrees. That's perfect. That's where we're going to leave it. Press set again. We'll go to the next menu. Okay, DS1, heating differential. Remember I said I have this thing cycling between 70 and 72 degrees for a 2 degree Fahrenheit differential. Okay, and we've seen that that works. This is perfect. Moving on. Press set again. Goes to the next menu. We're at CA now. Okay, CA, temperature calibration. This is where, if I compare this thermometer to the thermometer in here, I want to change this one to match this one, or I can relocate the temperature sensor on this one further away from the light bulb, make it less susceptible to that heat, and be over to that side, to the more center of the box. Okay, so we've now timed out. It was over like 10 seconds. If you leave this thing sit over 10 seconds, it's going to time out, and it has. We're back to our main menu. My set point is 72, and it's currently 71.1. So we're going to hit this for more than 3 seconds. Then we're going to scroll down through. This is CF, temperature unit, and you can choose between Fahrenheit and centigrade, and you can see the F flashing here, F for Fahrenheit. Okay, so that's a quick overview of all the settings that I did based on this guy, and that's the build. So we're basically done with it. It's functioning, and I need to just see how my sourdough starter likes its new home in its 70 to 72 degree environment. And we'll close this box up tight. It should maintain temperature pretty well, and then I think we'll also make some bread. I got some friends coming, and they are subscribers to the channel too, so I might make some bread for their arrival tomorrow, which means my starter's got to get active today, and that's what we're doing. I got to make the dough today, or yeah, because I don't have much time tomorrow, and then I want to bake it tomorrow when they are arriving, so it'd be hot, fresh, make some sourdough. Okay, all right, that's it. I'll come back and show you some finished rising starter here in just well, for you to be just a few seconds. All right, it's 2:20 in the afternoon, and I have done a discard and fed my starter, and we're going to just see how long it takes. Ooh, I see I'm down to one light. I turned those off. See how long it takes to make my starter very active, and at a constant temperature, which would be awesome. I put some water in here too. That's so I have room temperature water, 70-degree water, when I feed my starter. I'll just keep some water in here as well. Okay, so I'm anxious to see how long that takes, and then we'll make up a couple loaves of sourdough bread and to see how long it takes to rise my bread in here. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, we're fast forward a couple days. Things didn't work out the way I'd hoped. I have re-discarded part of my starter and refed it, and we're going back in right now. The time is 10:25. That's important because I want to know how long it takes to raise the starter when the temperature is consistent. All right, raise, buddy, raise. We'll come back and check it out in a few hours. Boys and girls, it's a little after 4. I can't remember what time I put this in. I'll have to go back on my own video. But anyway, my starter is doubled, and we're ready to bake some bread. So let me take this in. I'm going to get my bread making. I'll make a couple artisan loaves of sourdough, and I'm going to turn my controls to 90 degrees to raise this bread. So I hope to cook this bread tonight. Here's how I do my bread. You can do your bread however you want to. So I'm going to make my dough in a mixer. Okay, I'll make 2 batches. So I got 2 bowls. I'll make 1 batch per bowl. Okay, just the way I want to do it. I weigh, in my bread recipe, I weigh all my ingredients. And when I get them done, I'm going to do a stretch and fold on them. I'm going to put them in the Dutch oven, which I plan to cook them in. I'm going to put the Dutch oven, or in this case, Dutch ovens, 2 of them, in here at 90 degrees, and then wait for it to rise. And as soon as I get the rise I'm looking for, Hopefully 7, 8 o'clock tonight, I'm going to come out here to the shop again, and we're going to cook the bread. We're going to bake the bread. Okay, let me go mix it up. All right, boys and girls, so this is second one is in the mixer. I kind of start off in kind of low gear there. Now we go to second gear. We run that thing for 8 minutes in second gear to knead that dough. Okay, in the meantime, while that's working, we're going to go put the first one in the proofing box. Get the right lid for the right, yep. All right, we'll go do this. All right, how'd our temperature do? I set it up before we left. Oh yeah, I set it for 91. We're at 91.1. And that one says we're a little short of that. Well, we'll see. The probe, the electronic probe, is more to the right, nearest the three, sorry, one-handed, nearest the 3 light bulbs. So we're letting the heat out like crazy, so those will come back on in just a second. We're gonna put this one on this side. Okay, now I'll go get the other one done, and we're gonna put it on this side. It'll be closer to the heat. Told you they'd be back on. I did use my water out of here and realized I need to have at least 2 of them in here. So when I'm making my bread, I'm putting warm water in. Okay, all right, let me get the other one done. We'll put the other one in, and we're gonna see how long this takes to proof at 91 degrees. Here we go. Okay, boys and girls, it is 5 o'clock p.m. and we're just getting these both in. So look at them, beautiful loaves. This contraption has no problem keeping this thing at 91 degrees. You can see the lights just came on because I've got the lid open. It's going, are you kidding me? If I can get that one off. This one's already starting to kind of flatten and fill out. So this could be ultimate, could be a failure. So I don't know. Let's find out. I'm going to just, now let's leave it alone. 91 degrees. That's it. I don't know if this is the right temperature or not. And my other thermometer says we're a few degrees less than that. Of course, it's cooled off now. It says 82.5. And this is about almost 80. So all we can do is experiment. And that's what we're doing, is experimenting. And we'll find out. So 5 o'clock now. I'll come back around 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight and see if we can bake bread. That's the whole point, is to have consistency, know how long it's going to take, and to speed up the process. All right, here we go. Right, these have only been in there 45 minutes, but I'm ready to leave, go grab dinner and such, but I gotta look. So my set point's at 91, it's currently at 91.3. This thermometer says it's about 84. The probe is right here, 1 light bulb on this side. The probe for the electronic one is about right here, 3 light bulbs on this side. So what we're probably just seeing is a differential in temperature on the 3 bulb side and temperature on the 1 bulb side, and that might show up in how fast things rise. Okay, let's open the lid and see what we've got so far. All right, here's the sneak peek. So that one's rising pretty good, and this one's rising pretty good. Whoa. Whoa, I saved that. That's a pretty valuable lid to be risking like that. Glenn, let's put that back on there. So I think we're in good shape. I'm a little nervous of that one being that close. Let's pull this back. All right, we're gonna shut the old lid. We're gonna let them do their thing. We're gonna come back a couple hours, see how we're doing. Cooled that right off, didn't we? Went down to 83.4, 0.2. It'll come back up quickly. So yeah, here we go. We'll see you in a couple hours. All right, it's about 8 o'clock. Let's see what it looks like, shall we? Okay, it says it's 91.6. And still back 84. So remember the temp probe thing. Let me open this up. All right, we're going to check this out together. I kind of hope it's raised because I would like to bake it before it gets much later in the day. No, it is not ready, people. It's not. It's not doing good. Bummer. About the same. Darn. Okay, well, I guess we know what we're up to. I think what I'm going to do, I am disappointed that this wasn't raised that quickly. What was 5 o'clock we put it in there, so it's been 3 hours. I was hoping for better than 3 hours, so but it ain't. So I'm not going to stay up till midnight or something, so I think I'm going to turn the old temperature down to like 70 and we'll let it raise slower. So to do that, we hit the set button. No, we hold the set button for 3 seconds. Okay. And then, whoops, that's up. We'll go down. Let's go down to 69, shall we? Okay, 69 it is. Okay, cool off, buddy. We'll see you in the morning. We'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, it is the next morning. It's about, I don't know, 8:30 or something like that. As you can see, I swapped ovens yesterday. So as I kind of finished up that little video segment, and I realized these things did not raise like I thought they would. I had put them in bigger ovens to really give them room to expand, and they didn't. So, you know, we dropped the temperature down to 70, and I went ahead and did a stretch and fold on them again last night and put them in smaller ovens. This is the 10-inch ovens that I normally use for bread. Let's check them real quick. Yeah, they've raised real nice. That's normal. Again, I put them in bigger ovens because I was expecting bigger things, or at least I gave them room to be bigger. That one also is really nice. So let's get these cooking in the oven, and we'll get them out in about an hour. All right, we got them in the oven. You can see I got my little pan of water down there. I always cook them with some water, kind of give them some moisture in the oven. We got it set at 425. We're gonna go about 45 minutes. Well, actually about 50 minutes, because I really let my oven cool off. So we'll go 50 minutes covered, and then 15 minutes uncovered. So totally for an hour, if you really had your chance to, you know, preheat your oven. I did, but then I let all the heat out. So there we go. So I'm gonna set my timer 50 minutes. We'll pull them out, take the cover off, go another 15 at 425. Here we go. All right, it's been about 48 minutes, and I've just pulled the lids, and we are back in the oven for another 15 minutes. Here we go. All right, guys, the bread is done. I totally forgot to score it, so that's all right. It looks a little odd. I'm gonna give these loaves away, and I threw my starter back in the proofing box. I'm gonna go ahead and bake again. Probably do the same, like do it in the morning. So yeah, so that's the video, guys. It probably went a little long, but apologize for that. But this whole thing was kind of one big experiment, but a success. A success. So I got my starter in here. I'm going to bake again. So let's make that thing activated. So again, we're going to quickly set this thing. We got to hold that for 3 seconds. I'm going to go back up to 72 like that. I think you can just hold this down, and then that will set it. There it is. Done. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll catch you guys on the next video.